we're sitting here talking about what Connor said, a rebuild. Half of the excuse makers this season, one of the excuses has been that there has been so many changes to the squad that's lost continuity and balance. And yet we're talking about doing the same again next summer, but maybe expecting a different result. I mean, you can't have it both ways. You either think too many changes or too many changes, or you're like me and you just think no, he's just not. They're just not being coached well enough by Arna.
Yeah, I think there's an element of truth in both scenarios there. Spoken like a true politician, I suppose.
No, but that's fair. Two things can be right at once. That's fair.
I think that the players we brought in are fabulous players. Like I have no doubt that every single one of them will be excellent for us. But the thing is, we've had Freddie Woodman on the bench for like the last 9 games. Like we're in this situation where we can't even field a full 20 in our side without having 3 goalkeepers in it. It's a situation I can understand having a trim squad if you're going to be able to keep those players fit. It's like we've had issues before. We've had no centre backs in one season. We've had no midfielders in others. We've had no attackers in others. You know, it's when you're having Endo and Szoboszlai in your back four, as I say, it's clearly showcasing a squad planning issue. And the fact that we haven't planned for this and we don't actually seem like, right, we're on the 24th of January now. So, we're about a week away from the transfer window ending. There's been absolutely nothing.
No market opportunities, Chris, mate. You know, nothing opportunistic.
Mark Gahey. That was
also, by the way, an attacker who is Premier League proven, who Richard Hughes knows really well, who had a release clause, who we could have negotiated out, who's gone in and scored in his first 3 or 4 for City, was also available in a position that we happen to need. But you know,
good old market opportunities. Yeah, it's great when they come around, isn't it? Fucking hell, it's like
somehow, Chris, selling Robbo's a market opportunity.
Like the way you lay it out, right? The way we've laid it out there, we've put it in layman's terms, and it blows my mind. Like it actually blows my mind how incompetent it is. Like even so, say you're a builder, man, like managing a building site or whatever, and you know what? You've got some great builders, but they're sort of coming towards the end of their age. We've brought in, load of new ones, and then they all just fall off.
This is sounding a bit fucking too close to home for me, Chris. But go on.
But like, and then you're like, oh no, we don't need to cover them. You know, they've only, they've broken their ankles or whatever. They've hurt themselves, but we'll just let them be. Yeah, what building manager like allows this to happen? They don't. They go and source more, get more in. If we're having this issue, like. It's literally a numbers game. I'm struggling. I struggle, and then we'll just let the Scottish one go down to London for another job. That's fine. We'll let him crack on. Fucking hell.
There's a leak in the roof, lads. I think we should form an exploratory committee to find out what's happening with the roof. Is the kind of decision making here we're getting like
it is making my brain ache with how like crazily dumb it is. Like I usually come on these pods, right, and I come out of it feeling better than I did at the start. Like, I don't think it's actually humanly possible for that to happen today. It's heartbreaking, man. Like, what's going on?
We talked about Liam Senior aging, mate. I think Arne Slot is aging most of us fucking quicker.
The thing is, I've spoken to so many people over the past few weeks who they can't bring themselves to say out loud they want to lose because they're Liverpool fans and they never want a team to lose. But every single one of us is coming in with a feeling of trepidation every single week, and certainly not having that same fire, love, and expectance that we've had. And when that ball hit the back of the net today, Connor, in the 94th, 5th minute, whatever it was, were you shocked? Did it surprise you? Were you left aghast and crestfallen to think, how could this have happened to us?
No, it's nowadays it's more, of course that happened. Why wouldn't that happen to us? Of course it's going to happen. Like, even I said to you before we started, like, when we went 2-2, I was thinking, that's good, we're back in, but I'm still just like, we're probably still going to lose this somehow. It just felt like that kind of game. And like you said, it's just the expectations versus reality again. Like you can say what you want about the Roy Hodgson era or God knows what, but like, we are meant to be good now. That team on paper is good. That squad on paper, like maybe it's a bit thin, but it is a very good squad of very good players that should be finishing at least first or second every year. And the drop-off has just been insane. And like, we should be going into every game as Liverpool fans thinking confidently, we can win this game, we will win this game. And at this point, it's literally God, I hope we can maybe scrape a win against 14th place Bournemouth. Like, just the place this fan base is in now is just a joke.
Connor, it's only one defeat in 14, mate. Come on. Be
That's
fair.
true. It was the longest unbeaten run in Europe, don't you know?
It was. Not anymore.
If ever there was a more misleading stat, like if that has to be the worst unbeaten run I've ever seen in my life.
Can I ask you an honest question, lads? Because I'll give you my answer to this as well. Xabi Alonso is obviously available, and Xabi is, somebody who we love. But would he be your first choice? Like, if you had free reign in the managerial market to go out there and get somebody, I'd have to say Enrique would probably just about pip ahead, but I'd happily have Alonso. But I'm wondering, are we even going to make that play, Chris? What are we expecting here?
I expect there to be absolutely zero communication. And I just don't think there's going to be any. There'll be no movement in the manager until the end of the season. I've got absolutely no faith unless we lose in the Champions League and FA Cup like straight away. Even then, like it's just not a very Liverpool thing to do, and for some reason we think we're above it. Like, I understand the whole like backing managers to the hilt or whatever, but use your eyes in this situation, and it's the players have clearly lost faith. The fans are losing faith. That's the first time I think the other day where I heard attack in like 15 years.
Did you hear what Arna said though? When the fans who booed him, because he finally admitted there was a little smattering of boos, he said when they went home they probably realised that they went a little bit too far and they probably regret it.
I don't like that. When you go to war with your own fan base, that's pretty poor, isn't it? I think,
or even when you're just denying the reality. Like, I look at it differently, Chris. I look at it that even though it was just a handful of boos, to get Anfield or anybody there to that point, that takes more than it takes at another club to get to that point. So if you hear a boo, you're in trouble.
And I think, I genuinely think the fans think it. I just think that the attitude coming out, we've heard Van Dijk, we've heard Salah this season, we've heard other players say, back us, we'll get back to our best, we're blocking out the noise, all this bollocks, right? Sometimes the noise is so loud you have to listen. Like, listen, and that noise is booing
over the wind today, though.
But it's all about the wind. Yeah, to be fair, the wind. But like, if the noise is so loud you have to listen, then surely introspectively the club have to think about it and actually say, well, what's the best thing here? There's clearly something going wrong. Like, honestly, he's damaging his legacy over and over again with these performances that continue to happen. Look, it would be the most respectful and kind thing to do to say, look, thank you. You've done amazingly well. We want to go in a different direction now. That would be the best thing for this football club right now to do, and for the people in charge. But I know they won't, because they want to back their own decision. Okay, and it's worked for them in the past with some, but it hasn't with others. And that's it's sort of like, it feels like there's these sort of invincible men who are like, they never make a wrong decision. Well, they have here. Obviously in the replacing Jurgen to go win the league, incredible. But like, that decision now is clearly coming to a hilt. And the longer we leave it, the worse Arne Slot's reputation is going to get. And the worse Liverpool's league position is going to get. It's just going to go on a cyclical thing of just getting worse and worse and worse. It's just cut the cord now. Shake his hand. See you later. Have a great time. Go back to PEC's Vola. Go and model some more kits. No issue with that. Just crack on, pal. Please, come on. Please.
Connor, these two fucking dweebs that run the football club hide in the shadows and don't have to face up or answer to anybody in a press conference or in front of a stadium. And dweebs is what I'm going to call them, because maybe if we keep calling them dweebs, they'll actually appear and show up. Because it's almost like I've got to look under my bed to see if Edwards is there, because who the fuck knows where he is? He's this mythical figure. Does he even exist? Like, these lads are making decisions with clearly no accountability to anybody outside of John and co, and don't seem to give a fuck what the fan base think. So dweebs is what I shall refer to them as.
Yeah, or even like we're saying, like, they've clearly made mistakes and are unwilling to admit they've made mistakes. And like, I think was it the very first interview with Slaughter or whatever. It was Richard Hughes was doing the press conference with him. And I thought that was fantastic. I really enjoyed listening to him speak. And I thought like this should become a more regular thing. And I haven't seen like I've seen someone on Twitter having a selfie with him about 3 months ago. Outside of that, I've never seen him once. Like he just disappears into the shadows, and it's too easy to hide then. And like yes, again, Arne Slot needs to go. But again, I will say bluntly, he is not the only one who has a lot of blame on him here. Like Richard Hughes, the squad planning. Like he needs to be answering these questions. He needs to be held accountable, and he's just not, because it's too easy, like you said, just to hide behind the laptop, hide behind the data, hide behind the fact that the manager is going to get all the blame, and you can just kind of sit off there, and no one's going to question you. Like it's gone on too long at this point. Like he needs to front up to it, answer questions, and just needs to be more public facing, because like it's not right for like even any club. Like you even see with Chelsea at the minute, see with Man United, all these like structures. Like I don't like the way football is going. Like it should be more open. We should hear more from these people who are actually making the decisions. Like even in stuff like we blame Slot on, like how much of that is on Slot and how much is on the fact that he hasn't been given the squad or has been told to do certain things. Like without that clarity, you're always going to get more pressure heaped on the manager. And even if he is doing an all right job, it looks shit. If he looks shit, he looks even more shit. Like, you know what I mean? It just makes no sense for these lads to be pulling the strings that we just never get to see from them, because, like I said, it's too easy for them to hide and just kind of bury their head in the sand and say they haven't made any mistakes, because they really have made big mistakes and they have to front up to that.
Fucking dweebs, Chris.
What I will say is, and I think that some of the decisions that both of those people have made have been very good for this football club. But I feel like if they stick by the wrong ones, it could be even more disastrous, and they could outweigh the good that they've done. So I think they need to, swallow some humble pie and get on with it.
But truly, where's the bold, brave decision-making that removes the emotion? Doing nothing isn't brave. It's, like you said, if I was to guess now, Chris, and of course I'm guessing, and obviously the dweeb stuff I say, baiting for a joke, like, I know these are intelligent football people, but ultimately they are hiding. So I think they're cowardly. But when you don't have to face up to anybody, Chris, when you don't have to answer to the fans, it's easy to sit in your hands and keep wheeling Arne out for the tough press conferences. As Connor rightly said, he's answering questions that are above his pay grade.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I've got no real words for it. Like, I think the blame has to be spread around, but the first one that's going to be copping for it is the manager, and potentially deservedly so. Then if it continues to go around and in the short term with these incredible players that we do have at our disposal continue to perform, poorly over and over and over again, then it's, I don't even know who to blame at this point. I can't believe we're having this conversation. I actually can't believe it.